Welcome to TV Africa. This is Africa Today. My name is Najma Luima, but first are the headlines. Names of Emyoga cash defaulters to be read on radio stations, according to Minister Kasolo. Police arrests a teacher in Jinja for recruiting girls into homosexuality. Tshisekedi calls upon France to sanction Rwanda over M23 violence. 10-man Villa rally to complete double over rivals Express. Welcome once again. Now the news in detail. The 692 Senior Health Officers General Assembly has resolved to suspend their strike for 30 days to pave way for engagement to discuss and implement the recommended both short-term and long-term solutions as presented by the Uganda Medical Association. We have more.
Among the recommendations is asking the Minister of Finance to work in collaboration with the Minister of Health and Parliament to urgently find resources to pay all senior health officers.
The Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development should work in collaboration with the Minister of Health and the Parliament to urgently find resources to pay arrears for all senior health officers.
They have also recommended for the formulation of the National Health Workforce Planning Committee as directed by President on the 1st of June 2021. This should be in place in a timeline of 6 months to make valid the timeline recommendations for a long-term solution with a view of minimizing the chronic crisis and for the best health workforce optimization in Uganda.
Senior health officers held a General Assembly this week and resolved to suspend the industry action for 1 month as we allow time for engagements to take place to discuss and implement the recommended short-term and long-term solutions as presented by the Uganda Medical Association.
Addressing the media in Mulago on Sunday, the Senior Health Officers President, Dr. Robert Lubega, in other recommendations, said government should also advertise and recruit medical officers special grade or senior health officers who leave university after attaining their second degree to cover up the 70% gap in government hospitals to date.
Those are when senior officers leave university after attaining their second degree, they are classified as medical officers, special grade. So there are 70% vacancies in public hospitals according to the Human Resources for Health Strategic Plan 2020-2030 published by the Ministry of Health themselves. So we recommend that these vacancies be filled up because this will enhance training of the senior officers and also the medical interns.
The suspended industrial action was resolved in the Uganda Medical Association General Assembly that sat on 16th of February 2023 over delayed payment of senior house officers' allowances since October 2022 after SHOs who had just reported from training had missed allowance payments ranging from 3 to 6 months to date.
The State Minister for Microfinance, Haruna Kasolo, has said government is set to release a list of defaulters of Emyoga funds in a bid to reduce on defaulting. Ahomuza with more. Speaking to Emyoga beneficiaries in Bulisa on Friday, Minister Kasolo directed commercial officers to compile lists of defaulters from all circles that should be sent to him. He said that he was giving the defaulters 14 days to start paying, or else he will take action. The minister explained that government has secured airtime on various radio stations around the country that will be used for the purpose of naming and shaming defaulters of Emyoga money. According to Kasolo, if that fails, government will arrest the defaulters who will then be sent to prison. The minister warned that the public ought to know that it is no longer business as usual as government seeks to get the best out of Emyoga program. Police has arrested a female teacher at PMM Girls School in Jinja City on allegations of promoting homosexuality. This was revealed by Kira, a regional police spokesperson, James Mobi.
According to Kira Regional Police spokesperson James Mubi, the teacher was arrested after her alleged partner reported to police accusing her of neglecting her and engaging in recruiting schoolgirls into their vice, adding that investigations into the matter are ongoing. This forced parents to storm the school demanding to take away their children after several social media reports accused the teachers spoiling their daughters, but these were blocked by police. Miss Rose Kalimbe, the chairperson of the Old Girls School Association, said the teacher should be suspended from the school as she is tarnishing the name of the school. It is alleged that parents had approached the school administration about the issue, but the alleged late handling of the matter prompted the parents' action. The school administration declined to comment on the matter. When contacted, the Jinja City Education Officer, Mr. Haruna Mlopa, said they have left the issue for police to handle.
Let's take a quick break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, The Right to Know. A clash between the visiting French President Emmanuel Macron and his Democratic Republic of Congo counterpart Felix Tshisekedi played out on Saturday when the two heads of state were having a joint press conference in Kinshasa.
The former French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian in 2019 had termed the election of President Tshisekedi as controversial and as an African-style compromise DePaul. Tshisekedi nevertheless called for an equal partnership between the two states, as he also called upon France to sanction its neighboring Rwanda over the ongoing violent crisis on its eastern region of Goma. Macron, on the other hand, called upon the DR Congo's government to take responsibility over the violence that has cascaded through the region for years. Emmanuel Macron, French president, said that since 1994, which is not France's fault, DRC people have not been able to restore the sovereignty, neither military, nor security, nor administrative of their country. The DRC government has accused Rwanda of backing the militia group M23, which re-emerged from dormancy in late 2021, subsequently occupying sources of territory in North Kivu. Independent UN experts, the United States and other Western countries, including France, agree with Kinshasa's assessment, but Rwanda denies the charge.
Moving on, the first part of the Burundian troops pledged to deploy to the volatile Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo arrives in Goma. The seven-nation East African community began deploying troops late last year in the Eastern DRC, which has been struggling with the rise of militias, including the rebel March 23 movement. The fighting in North Kivu province has displaced huge numbers of people and exacerbated regional tensions, with the DRC government accusing Rwanda of backing the M23 claims denied by Kigali but supported by the US and several Western nations. The militia re-emerged from dormancy in late 2021, subsequently occupying swaths of territory in North Kivu, including much of the regional north of its capital, Goma. The EAC, which has held several meetings to defuse the crisis and called for the withdrawal of the M23 from occupied areas, created a regional force aimed at stabilizing the eastern DRC. But thousands demonstrated in Goma last month, accusing the EAC force of passivity in the face of armed groups. The troops will be deployed in Kinshang and Kilorire areas occupied by the M23 in North Kivu, as well as Sake, he said, on condition of anonymity. An ESC press statement on Friday confirmed Burundian troops would be deployed on Saturday, but did not elaborate on the number of soldiers traveling to the DRC. According to a new timetable adopted by East African leaders last month, all armed groups, including the M23, must withdraw by March 30th, following a three-step process that was due to start on February 28th. Away from that, almost 300 people returned from Tunisia to Mali and Ivory Coast on Saturday after boarding repatriation flights, fearful of a wave of violence since the president launched a terror against migrants.
Last month, President Kais Saied ordered officials to take urgent measures to tackle irregular migration, claiming without evidence that a criminal plot was underway to change Tunisia's demographic makeup. Saied claimed that migrants were behind most crime in the North African country, fueling a spate of sackings, evictions and attacks. The African Union expressed deep shock and concern at his remarks, while governments in sub-Saharan Africa scrambled to bring home hundreds of frightened nationals who flocked to their embassies for help. A group of 135 Malian nationals arrived in Bamako late on Saturday, according to media reports. They were welcomed by Defense Minister Sadio Kamara and the Minister for Malians living abroad, Ahmed Aglain, who explained that Mali's government had catered their plane. The minister said 97 men, 25 women, and 13 children had been on board. In Abidjan, a flight carrying 145 passengers also landed late on Saturday and were welcomed by Prime Minister Patrick Achi and several ministers.
South African non-government organizations have so far provided in-kind aid amounting to approximately $1.2 million for those affected by the Kahramanmaras-based earthquakes that occurred on February 6th. Extending its hand of friendship to Turkey from at least 10,000 kilometers away, the Republic of South Africa has become one of the countries sending the highest number of aid materials and search and rescue personnel from the African continent. Consulate General of Turkey in Cape Town, Yunus Emre Institute Turkish Culture Center in Johannesburg, Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency Pretoria Office, and White Goods Company Aselik facilities in Durban, which were designated as aid collection centers, were overflowing with aid materials from South Africans. Turkey's ambassador to Pretoria, Aysegul Candace, told journalists that South Africa has been among the first countries to provide aid to Turkey since the first day of the earthquake. Candace said that South African NGOs such as Awqaf SA, Jamiatul Ulema and Al-Imdad collected approximately $1.2 million of in-kind aid in the first 3 weeks within the scope of the aid campaigns they started immediately after the earthquakes. Candace said that these in-kind aids included 860 tents, 239 generators, 116 mobile toilets, 69 beds, 3,304 sleeping bags, 6,255 blankets, 641 heaters, 46 mobile cookers, and 4 tons of clothes. Let's once again take a quick break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, the right to know. In our business news today, Nigeria's Supreme Court has restrained President Muhammadu Buhari from withdrawing the old 200 naira, 500 naira, 1000 naira notes from circulation. The Apex Court also faulted the government's decision to go ahead with the redesign of the banknotes without consulting the federating units, that is, the 36 states of the federation.
The Nigeria Supreme Court invalidated the Naira redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. The court ruled that the use of the old Naira notes would remain valid till December 31st, 2023. The 7-member panel of judges who sat on the matter comprises John Okoro, Amina Agi, Muhammad Gaba, Adam Jawuro, Tijana Baker, Emmanuel Akim, and Ibrahim Saulawa. The court made a declaration on Friday while delivering judgment in a suit instituted by 3 states of the Federation. More states later joined the suit to bring their number to over 15. Nigerians have been struggling with a shortage in cash since the Central Bank of Nigeria began to swap all the bills of the local Naira currency for new or redesigned ones, leading to a shortfall in banknotes. The scarcity of cash triggered violent protests in major cities as angry and frustrated bank customers attacked and vandalized banks and blocked roads. Many people working in Nigeria's informal economy and in transport use cash for transactions rather than banking apps.
In our health news today, a man in Luzela, Uganda by the names of James Kateba has found a unique way to recycle plastics by making a large vessel made entirely out of plastic waste and eco-friendly materials. Kateba hopes his creation, called Floating Island, will encourage recycling and end littering in Lake Victoria. Let's take a look. According to James Kateba, the vessel is anchored using cords attached to the mainland. It's sitting on a minimum of 10 tons of plastic bottles and could hold up to about 100 to 120 people in comfort. Former tour guide James Kateba started building the boat in 2017 to answer first the question of what to do with tons of plastic waste ending up in the lake when it rains heavily. Next, he realized that the boat also could be an example of a sustainable business on the shores of Uganda's Lake Victoria, a floating restaurant and bar that could be unmoored to drift for pleasure. The initial attraction becomes more compelling when tourists to Uganda learn that the greenery emerges from an innovative recycling project which uses thousands of dirt encrusted plastic bottles to anchor the boat. Jaro Matsuez, a businessman visiting from Greece, said that he had never seen a place like this, praising its accommodative atmosphere as he dug into fish and chips on a maiden visit. Africa's Lake Victoria, the world's second largest freshwater lake, which spans 3 countries, is plagued by pollution including runoff waste, sand mining and a decline in water levels, in part due to climate change. Kateba started by asking fishermen from nearby landing sites to collect plastic bottles for a small fee. More than 10 tons of bottles were brought to him within 6 months. And finally, with our sports news today, 10-man AC Villa came from a goal down to beat Express FC at Mutesa 2 Stadium, Wankulukuku, to complete a double over their rivals. Ahomza reports.
Alan Kayua early opener turned into a consolation as David Owori and Sheif Batey scored to earn the Jogos all points despite a second-half red card to goalkeeper Medi Kibirige. Mayanja and Kayua had chances wasted before Villa broke down the left and Owori set up Batey to score into an empty net, sending the Villa fans into frenzy in the 77th minute. Despite a late surge, Villa held on for all points that sent them second on the table with 31 points, 4 behind leaders KCCA after 17 goals, 1 less than their Lugogo rivals. Defeat extends the Red Eagles winless straight 10 games in the league as they stay 11th with 18 points, 6 ahead of the relegation monster. Next on menu for James Odochi's main is a trip to Gaddafi on March 19 days after playing the Stanbic Uganda Cup. Soccer Club Villa will shift focus to the Uganda Cup with a ripple against Ball lacking next week.
That was the news. Thank you for always keeping it TV Africa. Please do stay tuned.